بمالات کدوشیم پتاری.
You are now entering another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of critical thinking. A journey to a wondrous land with boundaries that of clarification. Your next stop, the Sanity Zone.
I'm a man. I'm a man.
Overweight doubles in the house. The house. The overweight doubles in the house. The house. The overweight doubles in the house. Doubles in the house. Doubles in the house.
All right. You're listening to Breaking News. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to do this one.
So you're a philosopher?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
All right.
I think very deeply.
Now we can get to it.
I think very deeply.
In about 4 seconds, a teacher will begin to speak.
I think very deeply.
You're listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. What's up, people? What's up? It's been a long weekend for me. I think I'm in the middle of the flu, or towards the tail end of the flu. My wife had it for, I think, 9 days. I think I'm about 3 or 4 days behind her. So I think I'm at the tail end of it. I feel dehydrated. A little feverish. Hey, but I'm here. I'm spreading the joy for anybody who wants to catch the flu. Ain't nobody sent me home, so I'm here. That's not true. Paul has told me to go home a few times, but I'm here working. So let's jump right into this mess that's going on. Should I jump directly into that? I think I am. Let's jump directly into it. The Jussie Smollett controversy that's going on. He allegedly got jumped out right outside of where he lives. He went to a Subway because he was hungry at 2:00 in the morning at Sub-Zero. They said 50 degrees below zero over there in Chicago with the wind chill. And he was out getting his Subway sandwich at 2 in the morning. He was hungry. He doesn't know how to use Uber Eats or any of that stuff, What is that? So he went out, got his sandwich. Oh, and by the way, he got jumped, and supposedly when the police when he finally calls the police, he had the Subway wrapper. So that means he got jumped, but he kept hold of his sandwich. Right? They put a noose around his neck, allegedly. But he had that grip on his Subway sandwich. So, anyway, Smollett says that he was the victim of a hate crime, allegedly. Right? And the reason I'm saying allegedly, because he alleged it, right? And when he came out, what is it now? It's over a week now, right? That this happened. When he came out and said it happened, and people started using the allegedly word, they started saying using allegedly is racist, because like woman, all black people who allege hate crimes are to be believed. And that's what's going on here. I don't know if when this first happened, maybe a week ago, I had a show and I went through about 10 to 12 stories of alleged hate crimes, writing swastikas, even burning a church. There was one that burned his own church and wrote a swastika, and it was just so they could say it's Trump supporters. And I was explaining right now to Joe the weed guy, Joe LaChance. He asked me, well, but why would anybody do something like that? And I was saying, listen, the Trump haters, the never Trumpers, they are so involved in their own hate. They're involved in their own hate. Remember, everything Trump does is, according to them, racist. You know, it's an attack on our democracy. It's a constitutional crisis. Everything Trump does, they make it out to be something dire, like the sky is falling. The sky is falling. That's all you see. Democrats running around yelling, the sky is falling. Oh my God, look at that racist falling from the sky. Oh, look at that misogynist falling from the sky. Oh, look at that Islamophobia falling from the sky. Everything. The sky is always falling for them. Because you could never, as a Trump supporter, actually want to make America great again. America as a whole, regardless, the whole rainbow of colors that make up America, the melting pot that makes up America. Trump supporters can't be for that melting pot to actually do better together. But you know why? Because Democrats are so involved in their own hate that all they see is hate. They project hate onto you. They're constantly projecting hate. And then some of them are so disappointed that there isn't enough Trump supporters that actually hate people, that they create their own hate crimes. They're so involved in the hate that they feel left out of the hate coming from Trump supporters. It takes two to tango, and they don't have that partner. They don't have that number two. So they're creating the crimes themselves in order to feel good about themselves. Jesse Smollett has been feeling good about himself. He fell victim of a crime. Crying with Robin Roberts, who had an incredulous look on her face herself. She was looking at him like, is this guy for real? I can't speak for her, but a couple of the looks she gave him, it was like, bruh. You know? So, anyway, let's get on to the news. Because I remember the first day, the weekend after it happened, I remember Babs from the Babs Loves talk show. She asked me on the air, so what do you think of Jesse Smollett getting attacked and somebody trying to lynch him? And I was like, ooh, I saw the story this morning, but I'm not going to comment on it. And I didn't want to get into it with her, but because there's just so many fake stories these days. There are so many fake attacks. When you dig into the story, you realize that most of the hate is coming from the left. They are so involved in their hate that all they see is hate. So even your good intentions, you going around your life doing good, they see it as hateful because they're projecting their hate onto you. It's that simple. But let's get to the story. This is from the New York Post, page 6. Jussie Smollett pals reportedly rehearsed alleged attack. So, I mean, I don't know. What do you think? You believe it? You believe what's going on here? These two guys, these two Nigerian brothers, right? One happens to be an extra from the Empire show. An extra from the Empire show happens to know Mr. Smollett. The other one happens to be Jussie Smollett's personal trainer, training him for a video he's about to do. Yeah, these two guys look like MAGA hat wearing white dudes, like was implied by Jussie Smollett on Good Morning America with Robert Roberts. He said, if I would have said they were Muslim, if I would have said they were Mexican, if I would have said they were black, I would be believed. Well, it turns out he should have said they were black. These two guys admitted to it. These two guys admitted to rehearsing attacking Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett, let me read the article, and for all of those listening to the program, if you want to be more involved with my program, go to the New Haven Independence Facebook page. So just go to your Facebook, in the search bar, look, put New Haven Independent, and go to our page and go to videos, and you'll see our live video right there. So you'll be able to see the articles as I go along with it. So you don't have to take my word for it. You could just read it yourself. So Jussie Smollett, and we also on Twitter at WNHHLP on Twitter, and also on Periscope by that same at WNHHLP. Jussie Smollett allegedly promised to pay his two pals $4,000 to stage his racist and homophobic assault, which the trio even rehearsed beforehand, according to a new report. The embattled Empire star paid $3,500 to bodybuilding brothers Abimbola and Alabinho Asundero before they left for Nigeria the day of the January 29th attack, and promised another $500 upon their return to the U.S. According to told by CBS Chicago. Late Saturday, Chicago police spokesman Anthony Giuglielmi, these names are incredible, said cops reached out to Smollett's lawyer to arrange a follow-up interview. We can confirm that the information received from the individuals questioned by police earlier in the Empire case has in fact shifted the trajectory of the investigation, said the detective, who did not elaborate further. The brothers told cops that the alleged attack in Chicago was supposed to happen before January 29th and that they practiced it in the days before it happened. Smollett, 36, also allegedly paid for the rope, which was purchased from the Crafty Beaver hardware store in the Ravenwood neighborhood the weekend of January 25th. So, so much for crazed Trump supporters hating people. It's actually look at all the cases. And I'm going to do another show of fake news, of fake attacks, fake alleged attacks. And what happened to some of those people? Because some of those people were brought up on charges for reporting a fake crime. So, I mean, it's incredible what's going on out there. But it's so easy for the media, for Trump haters, for even some racists to believe it, right? And what do I mean by that? Because they're so willing, they're so eager to believe that there are white men out there looking for them, and they have this hate for white men. Some people, I read it all over the internet. What we have to be afraid of these days are white men. All you gotta do is go. It's all over the internet. You know, it's good to assume the worst in white people, but God forbid you stereotype any other group of people. So anyway, I'm gonna come back with more on this story, on the Jussie Smollett story. I'm gonna play a song. I'll be right back. You're listening to Breaking News with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Early morning rising, the sun is shining. All that staring, all that smiling is kinda cunning, not far apart. Across my yard, gave you my time, stimulated your mind. But you my best friend. Keep it moving, see it down, no wasting time. Had to break the silence, smooth as killer's quiet. Have a smiling, ain't typing, phone numbers dialing. Verb is so excellent, no questioning my confidence. Different worlds, seeing girls caught up in the swirl. Always searching for the one, walking with a loaded gun. The next day, again, with her text, my best friend. So I need to know. Soaring through the night, flashing lights. You did your own thing, opening shop, taking shots. I never mind clubbing with my best friend. Okay, she walked by so fine, had to make her mine. Mysterious woman, I like what you're doing. You know I'm pursuing to touch. Rock and roll for her soul, gave a show, had a sprung. Sunrise, conversations of what I be slaying. Who will be the one since you're looking for a crush? Ambitious and smart, a freak that's sharp. Sounds like the one I'm with. Who is this? Your best friend. I need to know, I need to know, I need to know, I need to know. You love it, I touch it. Just looking for the right one. I need to know, I need to know, I need to know, I need to know. You love it, I touch it. Just looking for the right one. Never was my position to miss my missus. Jealous and rage, kept it in place, passing days. I don't see you with a smile, he holding you down. I know your secrets and your weakness, things are getting deeper. He's getting sweet lies, we're making great times. Another night with the wrong one. Yep, you seen it, you tell me that she's a keeper. You couldn't take it to the text. Show you how I'm the one.
All right, you're listening to Breaking News with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave. Let me throw up this clip here from Yahoo News. Actually, I think it's from a local ABC station in Chicago. Let's listen.
Are telling ABC News police are investigating if the actor made the whole story up. Officially, Chicago police are reporting the two brothers questioned in this case were released, and there has been a shift in this investigation. Now, Chicago police say they urgently want to speak with the Empire actor. What that new information is, police will not say, but sources confirm reports that the brothers, who had a pre-existing relationship with Smollett, were paid by the actor to carry out the attack, and that detectives may have in their possession a receipt for the rope found around Smollett's neck. The men were initially called persons of interest in the alleged attack, but those two brothers have since been released without charges. Our ABC 7 legal analyst had this to say about the next steps in this constantly changing investigation.
Well, if it does turn out to be a hoax, then he's got a number of legal consequences he faces, and some of them are criminal. Almost certainly is going to be filing a false police report. He could also face obstruction charges for obstructing the lawful investigation of the police.
Of that confirmed by Chicago police, Smollett's attorney released a statement last night calling these allegations far from the truth and added, quote, "Anyone claiming otherwise is lying." The statement went on to say that Smollett would continue to cooperate with authorities. Chicago police say they have been in touch with his attorneys.
All right. So his lawyer came out and made a statement. Now, anyone contradicting Jussie Smollett's, initial reporting is lying. So my question is, these guys, these two Nigerians who he knows, two black guys, why did he say it was two white guys? Okay, let's eliminate. First off, in the initial reporting, they were wearing red MAGA hats, right? And they yelled, "This is MAGA country," and then they yelled out some homophobic and racist slurs. Now, what made him think these were two white guys? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he didn't pay them off. I don't believe it, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Right? Now, what made him say, because these guys admitted, they admitted to doing it. The thing is, they're admitting to doing it, but saying that he hired them. So they weren't arrested. That means the police believe them. And they confiscated their phones. It's beyond just a receipt for a rope and all of that. They've got all the information. So now they want Mr. Smollett to go back to the police department and sit down for questioning again, to see if he's going to lie to them. So, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say these guys are lying about him paying them. Well, they admitted to jumping him, or I guess jumping him if you believe his story, right? Because they got a noose around his neck. All he had was a scratch on his cheek. Still had his Subway sandwich. I don't know. So, I mean, let's just say they jumped him. Two big dudes, two bodybuilders scratched him on the cheek. And with that scratch on his cheek, managed to put the rope around his neck, which he kept on for over an hour afterwards. So these two black guys were walking around Chicago streets with a noose, possibly carrying bleach because he said something was thrown on him. Some liquid was thrown on him. So they were walking around with a noose, carrying bleach, and they jumped their friend. They attacked their friend. there's also pictures online of them working out in Smollett's own gym, in the building gym there. They're friends. So, what made him think that these two guys, who he should have known, but, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't believe it, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt. What made him say two white guys? And did these two guys, you think they screamed out, "This is MAGA country"? And this is the thing. The mental gymnastics that you always have to do to believe Democrat stories. It's insane. But, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. In light of the recent developments in the investigation into last month's attack on Jussie Smollett, celebrities are speaking out. Chicago police were pursuing additional detective work Sunday amid suspicion that a January 29th attack on actor, singer Jussie Smollett may have been faked. Two brothers told investigators they were paid by the Empire actor to stage the attack, according to a person familiar with the investigation. Now, let's move on to a couple of other stories, because here's the thing, right? Everybody was racing each other. I'm talking about everybody, Hollywood, politicians. They all raced each other to Twitter to condemn Trump supporters. Right? So they were all online condemning Trump supporters because it had to be Trump supporters. Right? So AOC and Kamala Harris, this is from the Federalist Papers. AOC and Kamala Harris' connection to Smollett's disastrous case is totally damning. Democrat presidential candidate and top lawmakers are knee-deep in Jussie Smollett's hoax. After the actor said he was attacked by two men who shouted, "This is MAGA country," in Chicago, prominent Democrats rushed to his defense. Right? So this is... Hold on. Oh, my throat is dry. All right, so this is from Cory Booker. The vicious attack on actor Jussie Smollett was an attempted modern-day lynching. I'm glad he's safe. To those in Congress who don't feel the urgency to pass our anti-lynching bill, designating lynching as a federal hate crime. Look, I don't get this anti-lynching bill. Where is it legal to lynch somebody? Where is it legal to lynch somebody? I don't get the waste of time that lawmakers go through. They waste our tax dollars having all these hearings and meetings about how they should make lynching illegal. I don't get it. Is it not illegal? I don't get it. To those in Congress who don't feel the urgency to pass our anti-lynching bill, designating lynching as a federal hate crime, I urge you to pay attention, Democrat presidential candidate Senator Cory Booker said. Right? So, at Jussie Smollett, to one of the kindest, most gentle human beings I know, I'm praying for his quick recovery. Who said that? Kamala Harris. This was an attempted modern-day lynching. No one should have to fear for their life because of their sexuality or color of their skin. We must confront the hate. Fellow Democrat presidential candidate Senator Kamala Harris said. Now, I agree with her statement there. No one should ever fear being themselves. No one should ever fear for their life because their sexuality or color of their skin. Let's add some stuff, right? Or because you wear a red MAGA hat, or because you're a Trump supporter, or because you disagree with the Democrats, or because you're pro-life. We could add to this. We should make this list nice and big, but not just for things the left cares about. Because human beings are different, so we'll have differing opinions. And all of it should be protected. So, let's read Kristen Gillibrand, another presidential candidate that got in on the action was New York Senator Kristen Gillibrand. This is a sickening and outrageous attack and horribly, is the latest of too many hate crimes against LGBTQ people and people of color. We are all responsible for condemning this behavior, and every person who enables or normalizes it, praying for Jesse and his family. Okay, who's normalizing hate crimes? What? This is the problem. This is the problem with Democrats. They word everything as if the sky is falling. There are much less hate crimes in America than 40, 50 years ago. This is the problem with the Democrats. The sky is always falling for them. And she should actually do her research. She'll find that a lot of the supposedly alleged hate crimes turn out to be fake. But you know, Kristen Gillibrand. So anyway, so you have all these politicians coming out. Now, I don't see any of them coming out. Cory Booker yesterday was asked to comment on the Smollett case. And he said, I'm going to reserve my opinion now that more information has come to light. I'm going to reserve my opinion. Why didn't he reserve his opinion from the get-go? Why? You have one person claiming something that from the start I was skeptical. From the start, you have to be skeptical. He's out at 2 o'clock in the morning, 50 below, and he's getting a Subway sandwich. He gets jumped in Chicago by 2 white supremacists who are hanging out in Chicago with red MAGA hats, just walking around with a noose in their hand, who happen to be fans of Empire. 2 white supremacists hanging out in Chicago, wearing MAGA hats, carrying a noose, who happen to be Empire fans. So you got 2 white supremacists sitting down every week and watching Jussie Smollett because they recognized him immediately. The mental gymnastics that you have to do. You have to twist yourself into a pretzel to believe some of this stuff. But these are the Democrats for you. Where they see no hate, they will bring the hate. If they have to create it themselves. The Democrats are lost right now. They are lost in the wilderness. And that wilderness is a wilderness of hate. So everything they come upon, they see hate. Even good Trump supporters, they see as ignorant and hateful and must be racist because they voted or followed Donald Trump. It's time for the Democrats to wake up and realize that the hate is coming from them. It's time for Democrats to look in the mirror and ask themselves, why do they hate Trump so much, and why do they hate his supporters? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself, what has Trump done to me? What has Trump done to the economy? What has Trump done to the country that has you in such a bad mood? Because the question that every citizen who's eligible to vote, who's able to vote, should always ask themselves, am I better off today than I was before this president got elected? And the country is most definitely better off today than before Trump was elected. It's that simple. Wash your hateful eyes. All right, you're listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Kel's in the building with me, though. Huh? Smoking mirrors, but the Zilla got the straight vision after holding these ups down just like victims. Got a double notch of kicks, you see the fam tripping. My shoulders RTB, we on a mission, pardon me. That bull be a DUV, you won't last like RG3, I guarantee. Money back and y'all don't want none of that. Treat it like leftovers, gotta keep it under wraps. Only at a concert would dudes be the ones to clap. The king's is back, you hear us clear, this ain't no mumble rap. Trump hand thoughts follow these walks like a thundercat. Standing on my ego, high level to the money stack. I be trying to get it, they be trying to borrow. I see them with their hands out, I'ma see you tomorrow. Not the one to follow, drink the beer and swing the bottle. Roll a plank and get higher than Mount Kilimanjaro. Success, fill a hater heart with sorrow. If you side switch your dudes to get what you get. Me and Kel's got the force, come to sip. Trouble you quick, the other side cats wanna run that hard facts. Small world, see me right where you at. Burn the J right in the front and I'ma be right back. See about what they talking so I know it's real. By now you know the deal. I'll fuck the city up like I'm Cloverfield.
Dog, we never changed up. Dog, we never changed up. For 2 decades, we've been on the same stuff. Like high tide, my people, we done came up. Now let me mix the gin and tonic in the same cup. Dog, we never changed up. Dog, we never changed up. For 2 decades, we've been on the same stuff. Like high tide, my people, we done came up. Now let me mix the gin and tonic in the same cup. This shit easy, like reciting the alphabet. I'm the Omega, and you still ain't see the alpha yet. It raps might blow you fools out your sweats, leave you with a joker face just for coming out your neck. In the booth we crying, and I'm writing like a marathon. Other rappers hating like this an unfairathon. I keep breathing hip hop until my air is gone. When it comes to lyricism, people, I'm the paragon. Hating and carry on, that's until I bury you. I'm a cool dude, I'll take you to the cemetery too. I'm no Crip, but I'm feeling like Larry who got a baby face, but they act like I'm a scary dude. They terrified, scared to ride. I'm prepared to die. Real, I am scared to lie. I'm killing everything. I feel it in the air tonight. Animal with the bars. It's like they got a better right. I'm rapping on a beat named Cloverfield.
All right. That's Cronzilla, Cloverfield. Shout out to Ugly Radio for supplying the music for my show. You're listening to Breaking News with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. All right, let's get to it. So, the next story is from Investors Business Daily. Right? Yes, there is a crisis at the border. Sorry about that. Illegal immigration. Democrats and the mainstream press accuse President Donald Trump of manufacturing a crisis at the border. The numbers tell another story. As soon as the words growing humanitarian and security crisis at our southern border left Trump's lips in his Oval Office address this week, Democrats and media fact checkers were trying to dispel it as a deliberate lie. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Trump must stop manufacturing a crisis and must reopen the government. That was when it was closed. Border crossings climbing. NPR's fact check, like countless others, dismissed Trump's claim as false because illegal border crossings in the most recent fiscal year ending in September 2018 were actually lower than either 2016 or 2014. What they aren't telling you is Border Patrol agents apprehended more than 100,000 people trying to enter the country illegally in just October and November of last year, or that the number is way up from the same 2 months the year before. Nor do they mention that last year the Border Patrol apprehended more than 500,000 people trying to get into the country illegally, and that number too is up from the year before. Downplaying numbers of illegals. Trump's critics certainly don't bother to mention that those figures only count illegals the Border Patrol caught. It does not count the ones who eluded Border Patrol agents and got into the country. The Department of Homeland Security claims that about 20% of illegal border crossers make it into the country. Other studies, however, say border agents fail to apprehend as much as 50% of illegal crossers. Even at the lower percentage, that means that 104,000 illegals made it into the country in 2018 alone. So, this is the thing. The Democrats, I mean, all you have to do is fairly search your memory. You know, don't lie to yourself. You're not going to lie to me. So I could care less. You can live in darkness all you want. But think about it. Weren't the Democrats calling it a crisis? And I have all of those audio clips, which I didn't have a chance to load up, of President Obama calling it a crisis, Hillary calling it a crisis, Nancy Pelosi calling it a crisis, and Chuck Schumer calling it a crisis. Right? But just recently, they were calling it a crisis. The Democrats were calling it a humanitarian crisis. They were saying these kids being held at the border, family separations, and all. Where do they think all of this stuff is happening from? From the illegal immigration crossing our borders. It's like the Democrats are clueless to their own words. Why is it a crisis of families at the border being separated? Because families are crossing illegally. So, Democrats called it a crisis. They were calling it a crisis all along, right? Just a few months ago when 2 children died at the border because they came through a desert and they were dehydrated and sick by the time they made it to the border, they accused the Border Patrol of killing those kids. And they called it a crisis. But as soon as Donald Trump called it a humanitarian crisis, it's like it left their memories. It's no longer a humanitarian crisis for them. It's just gone. The Democrats are hypocrites. And if you're foolish enough to believe everything they're telling you, then you deserve them. All right, let's move on to another story because my time is running low. Whoa, it really is. All right, let's see this. Pelosi warns GOP. Oh, there's a good one. Pelosi warns GOP next president could declare national emergency on guns. See, this is the thing. Another lie, right? Now she's putting it out there for her supporters, for Trump supporters, or the ignorant Trump supporters who are going to believe this. You know what it takes to repeal the Second Amendment? If it were that easy, the Democrats would have done it a long time ago. A national emergency ain't going to cut it. The Supreme Court is not going to let you declare a national emergency on the Second Amendment. And Nancy Pelosi suggesting that, and the people who repeated that garbage to me as if it was some type of fact that she could declare, or the next Democrat president could declare a national emergency on the Second Amendment. The people who repeated that to me are either ignorant or willingly spreading a lie. Now, it doesn't surprise me that Nancy Pelosi is out there spreading that lie. It doesn't surprise me at all. That's what they do. Okay. Trump shares Dershowitz quote saying use of the 25th Amendment would be unconstitutional. This is in The Hill, thehill.com. So, Alan Dershowitz, and I'm going to play that video right now, as a matter of fact. He was on Tucker Carlson on Fox News. Now, remember, Alan Dershowitz is a liberal, an ultra-liberal. Okay, he's been fighting for Democrat causes for the longest. He just sees that the Democrats have gone crazy and their supporters have been led astray. But let's play this right now.
60 Minutes interview, McCabe admits that his attempt to undermine the president began almost immediately after his boss, Jim Comey, was fired. And it was, of course, due to Russia.
I was speaking to the man who had just run for the presidency and won the election for the presidency, and who might have done so with the aid of the government of Russia, our most formidable adversary on the world stage. And that was something that troubled me greatly.
How long was it after that you decided to start the obstruction of justice and counterintelligence investigations involving the president?
I think the next day I met with the team investigating the Russia cases, and I asked the team to go back and conduct an assessment to determine where are we with these efforts and what steps do we need to take going forward.
Alan Dershowitz is a retired Harvard Law School professor. He's the author of the book, The Case Against the Democratic House Impeaching Trump, and he joins us tonight. Professor, thanks very much for coming on. So now the suspicions of many are confirmed by one of the players in it. The Department of Justice discussed trying to remove the president using the 25th Amendment. What's your reaction to that?
Well, if that's true, it is clearly an attempted coup d'etat. Relating to what your former guest said, let's take the worst case scenario. Let's assume the President of the United States was in bed with the Russians, committed treason, committed obstruction of justice. The 25th Amendment simply is irrelevant to that.
Right.
That's why you have an impeachment provision.
Exactly.
The 25th Amendment is about Woodrow Wilson having a stroke. It's about a president being shot and not being able to perform his office. It's not about the most fundamental disagreements. It's not about impeachable offenses. And any Justice Department official who even mentioned the 25th Amendment in the context of President Trump has committed a grievous offense against the Constitution. The framers of the 25th Amendment had in mind something very specific, right. And trying to use the 25th Amendment to circumvent the impeachment provisions or to circumvent an election is a despicable act of unconstitutional power grabbing. And there
you go. This is coming from Alan Dershowitz, Professor Alan Dershowitz. And here's the thing. This is what the Democrats were doing. They were actually working. They were colluding. Hillary Clinton was colluding with the FBI and with Russia herself because she got her dossier, which McCabe, the guy who just was in the video, at the start of the video, Andrew McCabe himself in front of the Congress said, excuse me, without the dossier, there is no investigation of Trump. And the dossier that they got was paid for by Hillary Clinton. So they got Oppo research from the opposing candidate and used that as fact to investigate Trump. And Alan Dershowitz said it. And these people who they've been talking about using the 25th Amendment. You had Elizabeth Warren just recently said it is the duty of his cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment. For what? He hasn't had a stroke. He's not in a coma. He hasn't been shot. People want to use the 25th Amendment to take out a president who was voted in. And the FBI doing it? The FBI planning to do it? Somehow figuring out how to use the 25th Amendment? That isn't even their role. That was what Alan Dershowitz said, a coup d'etat. They were trying to steal the presidency. The Democrats and the FBI should be ashamed of themselves. And the more comes out, and of course, my audience probably has never heard of this stuff because the New York Times is failing to report it. The Washington Post is failing to report it. And most people think those are the news Bibles, even though they haven't been news in over 2 years now. They've been hate Trump, never Trump publications. But I would hope that even Democrats, if they see wrongdoings and illegal work by the FBI, that they would come out against it, right? That's not what we're seeing, folks. And I've been saying this, as I said with Me Too and everything they come up with to try to knock down Trump is going to boomerang onto you guys. So the next official, the next Democrat president is going to be able to be harassed and investigated just like you're doing to Trump. Why? Because you're setting the president now. So you're not going to be able to stop what's done to you in the future. Oh, I'm already over. I got to get out of here. Sorry. You've been listening to Breaking News with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM. Your home for community radio. Oh. See ya.
Philosopher? Yes. 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 I think very deeply. I think very deeply.